Chapter 8 of Just for Juniors, Little Talks to Little Folks by Rev. Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 8. I Want My Mother! Little 5-year-old Loretta Benson and her mother are very good friends. In fact, they spend most of their time together. Although Loretta is only a little girl, still she does a great deal to help her mother. She dusts chairs and tables, dries the dishes, and even helps her mother make the beds. Loretta likes to help because she feels then that she is a very big girl. Now, don't get the idea that Loretta spends all of her time working. She likes to play, too. Like all little girls, she plays with her dolls, her dishes, and her other toys. Yes, and she even reads picture books all by herself. Best of all, however, Loretta likes to be with her mother. She loves her mother, and, of course, the mother loves the little girl. That's why they are such good friends. Wait until I tell you what happened last Sunday morning. Loretta woke up earlier than usual. She called to her mother, but her mother didn't answer. Then the girl called again, and again there was no answer. "I wonder why Mother doesn't answer," the little girl asked herself. "She certainly must be tired this morning." Loretta waited a while, and then she called her mother again. But Loretta's mother didn't answer. The girl called her father, and her father didn't answer. That made the girl wonder some more. "Why don't they answer?" she asked again as she jumped out of bed and ran to her parents' room. And was Loretta surprised? When she reached her parents' room, her mother and father were not there. The little girl hurried downstairs. She ran through the parlor, the dining room, and the kitchen, calling at the top of her voice. But no one answered. Loretta was alone, all alone in the big house. Oh, how she cried! The girl was afraid, and she wanted her mother. I suppose you, too, are wondering about the little girl's parents. Well, Loretta's mother and father had gone to the nearby church. The church was crowded, and the people listened to every word the priest spoke. All of a sudden, someone knocked on the side door of the church. A few people looked toward the door, but the priest kept talking. In a few moments there was another knock, and the priest kept talking. Finally there was a real hard knock, and someone shook the handle of the door. The priest stopped talking, and every head turned toward the door. An old man walked to the door and opened it. And was the man surprised? There in the doorway stood a little girl with tears in her eyes. The girl was Loretta Benson. Loretta looked at the man for a moment. Then she rushed into the church and screamed at the top of her voice, "I want my mother! I want my mother!" Some of the people smiled, but there were tears in the mother's eyes as she hurried to her child. Was Loretta happy when she saw her mother? I think you know the answer. Children, that story is a true story. It really happened. When a priest told me that story, do you know what I thought? I thought about our mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary. And I thought, too, that if we would love Mary as much as Loretta loves her mother, we would be the happiest people in the world. Mary loves every one of us, but do we love Mary? If we don't love Mary, then there's something wrong with us, because every child loves his mother. Boys and girls, you need your mother, Mary. You need her love, her protection, and her care. Mary will help you to keep away from sin, and she will help you to save your soul, too. Remember, Mary's Son died for you to make it easy for you to get to heaven. Mary, like Jesus, wants you to get to heaven, and she wants to help you. That's why you should pray to her. That's why you should pray to Mary every day. If Mary and you are not close friends right now, it's not Mary's fault. Mary hasn't run away from you, but you have run away from Mary. You haven't been praying to her lately, and that's why you are not friends. You know how good Mary has been to thousands and thousands of boys and girls. Well, she wants to be good to you, too. Mary can get anything you want from Jesus, but you have to tell her what you want. You've got to pray to her. Jesus gives his best gifts to Mary, and if you ask for them, Mary will see that you get them. I'd like to think that every boy and girl in this church loves Mary. Keep close to Mary and don't let her get away from you. Pray to her every day. You know, Mary gets all of her friends into heaven. If you pray to her now, then you can be sure that you'll be very close to her in heaven. Some day you are going to walk up to the gates of heaven. If you have been one of Mary's friends, you'll knock on the gates and say to St. Peter, "I want my mother." What will St. Peter do? He will smile as he opens the gates. Then Peter will take you to Mary, and you'll be happy with her forever and ever. End of chapter 8.